Okay, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Lucy. I'm also known as Unique Strands, which is my hair business. I'm a professional braider and I work in the Kent area, and also I do a few events in London as well. But I thought I would set up this blog to see how everyone's getting on in lockdown. I know these are very strange times, and I don't think I've done my hair nicely for about a week and a half because of course I'm not going out anywhere, but it doesn't mean that I'm not still practicing. And we do set at least one day each week where we have a lovely meal and we do actually dress up. So yes, I was just wondering how everyone else is getting on. I didn't want to be on my own for lockdown, so I've actually moved in with my sister, and my lovely niece, bless her, has given up her room. So if you see some toys and things in the background, they don't actually belong to me, but it was very, very nice of her to give up her whole room for me. So I thought I'd start off with just a few things that I've been doing. Obviously a lot of tidying and cleaning, but I went through my sister's cupboards yesterday, and the first thing I did was actually just write a list down of all the things that she had in the cupboard. And she's very healthy when it comes to foods, which is great, and it also makes looking through her cupboards very exciting indeed. So there's not just normal flour, you know, you've got spelt flour, coconut flour, and then I came across gram flour, and it's been most interesting looking up online, figuring out what half the stuff is in her cupboard. But it also is quite interesting because it means I can find some really different recipes online as well, which I've then made into her own cookbook. So I've written quite a few of them in already. Sometimes I draw little pictures, and sometimes I write at the bottom, you know, where I've actually found the recipe from. I've already called up my mother to get most of her old recipes to put in this book as well. And it just makes, for me, cooking a little bit easier, but also really fascinating and interesting. I've baked, I think, every single day. Cupcakes, muffins, flapjacks. So I've also recently just been to Nepal before all of this happened. I was very lucky. And just as I came back, we kind of went into lockdown. But the one thing they have out there in Nepal are momos, which are these amazing dumplings, and you can have all different fillings and flavors. My favorite out there was buffalo, which we couldn't quite get here, especially since actually most of the meat had gone. So you can do vegetarian, but we did manage to find a little bit of mincemeat, and making those dumplings was so much fun with my nieces. Was really, really good. So yes, I've definitely been baking a lot more, but also sometimes I have to sit down with my sister and we go through the week of who's going to cook what and when. And then that's the only thing that I've got in my calendar at the moment, is when we're going to have some food. But it is good fun. I am enjoying it. There is also a few other things that I would like to make. I'd like to make some hand cream, and I'd like to make some moisturizer, and I would like to make some lip balm as well. And I'll definitely do a little video on that. But also what I'm going to be doing are some simple hairstyles, sort of like back to work hairstyles. So it will be for long hair, short hair, wavy. I will let you know what hairstyle works for each hair type as well. I will also probably be putting up a few adult lessons as well, because my sister wanted to learn a few styles, so I can also do a kind of classroom video. We have a couple of mannequin dolls heads over there that she can practice on as I tell her you know, what type of styles to do. But please let me know if there's anything in particular that you really wanted to learn, and I will definitely try and work something out for you. Ta-da! Okay, so the first hairstyle that we're going to do is quite simple, I would say, just about, although you will need to know how to braid. But I will show you a rope braid, which is a little bit easier than a 3-strand, so you might be able to do that. You will need a nice pretty hair clip, doesn't matter what sort. I usually get quite big clips because obviously my hair is quite long and it can get quite heavy as well. So of course you just brush and direct all of your hair backwards,
And then you want to make this parting. Basically what's happening under my hair here is I'm connecting both of my thumbs. I'll show it again. So both of my thumbs underneath, connecting them right at the back, and then pulling the hair all into one hand right underneath like so. And then you just want to get rid of all the other hair underneath. As you can see, it can sometimes get a bit knotty. Then just get rid of that hair out of the way. So you've got your ponytail, just make it as smooth as you can, and then you can put the lovely hair clip in. So yeah, just make sure it's nice and straight. Usually I'd have a mirror at this point, but I don't for this video. Okay, so now you're going to twist that ponytail and clip it out of the way. You then want to make a parting down the back, split that, and then you want to cross those two over. Now you want to just do a 3-strand braid, but you don't want to direct your hands downwards. You want to direct them slightly upwards towards the ceiling. So bring your hands up and then start your 3-strand braid. But don't worry, your arms don't have to be held in that position for the whole time. About halfway down, you can actually relax your arms slightly. It's just the hair near the head that we want to make sure that's going to be nice and neat. Okay, so now you're just going to repeat on the other side. Again, making sure your hands are directed upwards. This is just going to make sure that the braid sits a little bit flatter against the head. So now just unclip that top bit. And what you're going to do is you're actually going to pin round that ponytail. So you're just going to need quite a few of these bobby pins. Okay, so just grab one of the braids and put it around your hair clip. Pick up your ponytail and take it underneath. Now before you go all the way over, this is where I'm going to start pinning. I tend to direct it almost like I'm going to go right into my head, but then I turn it and then I sew it in, which basically means I wiggle it into my head, because you're actually still picking up pieces of hair, and that's what's going to make it nice and secure. And this sometimes is the part where one of your arms begins to ache. So don't worry if you need to take a 2-minute rest just for one arm before you swap over. But don't worry, the more that you practice, the easier and obviously quicker it will eventually become. So the end part, which I call the tail, you really want to make sure that's tucked right underneath, and I usually put at least 3 pins just in that area, because of course that's the bit that you really want to make sure it's not going to come out for the whole day. Okay, so this tail is actually quite long, so I'm going to twist this before tucking it right underneath.
Okay, so these are quite a few other clips that I managed to find as well. I do love going to vintage shops and finding some very different and quite unique type of clips. Now these are actually very, very heavy, but they do have a nice big clip on the back. Now this just about works for my thick, heavy hair. But if I don't put a braid around it, I do find that if it's just a normal ponytail, it will just slide out during the day just because it is that heavy. But what I'm going to show you now is a variation, if you don't know how to do a 3-strand braid, is kind of like a rope braid, which should be a little bit easier to wrap around.
Okay, so there is a little bit of a technique. It's not just a case of wrapping hair around the other piece. You do actually have to twist as you wrap it round. Because at the end, when you put an elastic band, when you let go, it should just about stay in place. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you a close-up, and I've slowed it all the way down so you can really see the technique. Also, I want you to know that each video that you watch of hair, they might be slightly different. That's because whatever I show, it doesn't necessarily mean that is the complete and utter correct way of doing it. As I've said in previous videos, my braiding technique might be completely different to someone else's. Doesn't mean it's wrong. If you get the same desired effect, then it's fine. So it's just a case of you finding out what's easier for you.
Okay, so that's your hair tutorial for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will definitely be coming up with lots more different ideas. Again, just let me know. You might just want to learn to do a 3-strand braid. I have already done a children's lesson on how to do a bun, but I could definitely do a back to work bun. So perhaps I can make it look a little bit posher, if you can even say that. Of course, you don't always have to do it with long hair. It would be fine if you've got medium hair. And in fact, curly hair I think would look quite nice as well. You can always give it a go and send me some photos. I hope you will be practicing every single day. No, don't worry. You don't have to do it that many times, but it does help if you practice at least once a week. And I do recommend taking a photo every time you do a hairstyle. That way, in a couple of weeks, you can look back and you can actually see your progress, hopefully anyway. And I will come back very soon with another update as to what I'm doing to keep myself occupied. And as I said, if I do make a moisturising cream, I will also do a video on that as well. All right, everyone, take care and stay safe. Bye.